Hey there, Griff Hamlin here from Blues Guitar Unleashed. Welcome, thanks for joining me in this video. I want to sort of address a common theme that you'll hear a lot in blues soloing, and that is the mixture of the major and the minor blues sounds. Okay, so first of all, you kind of got to understand what makes a major blues sound and what makes a minor blues sound. So if we think about, you might be familiar with good old box one. And that's the minor blues scale, or the minor pentatonic scale with a blue note added. Okay, so the first thing that's going to come to mind is, well, okay, well, that's great. How do you play a major blues scale? Well, here's the thing. You don't actually have to change anything. That same pattern, that same box one, is actually two different scales depending on how you look at it. Okay, and I know this might be a little bit, mentally there's some gymnastics here, but I promise you, when you kind of see it all put together, you'll realize that it's really pretty straightforward. Okay, so here's the deal. Every minor key has what's called a relative major key. And the relative major key has the exact same notes, just a different starting point. And in this case, it happens to be the C. So A minor is relative to C major. Okay, so if I look at this as, so if I go through and I find every A, C, D, E, G, A, C, D, E, G, A, C. So I have three minor roots in this pattern, right? Well, the way you find the relative major is you go up 3 frets. Okay, which is also the next note in the scale. So that's really convenient. But in case you're not working with a pentatonic scale, that might not always work out. So it's 3 frets. And the way I remember that the major is up, minor, the abbreviation for minor is a little m, and the abbreviation for major is a capital M. So to go from the little m to the big M, you have to go up. And that may sound cheesy and juvenile, but it's worked for me for 35 years, so I'm gonna go with it. All right? So there is my C. So this is also C major blues. Okay? So usually at this point, I sort of get a mystified look from a student, because it's hard to imagine that just by changing the way you look at that pattern, it becomes a completely different scale. But that is actually what I just said. If you look at it in one way, it's A minor. If you look at it in another way, it's C major. It's the same pattern. We still call it box one, because a box is a guitar thing. Okay? If you talk to a piano player or you talk to a saxophone player and you tell them, oh, play box one, they'll have no idea what you're talking about. If you tell them, play an A minor blues scale, they'll know exactly what you're talking about. And that's what it is. If you tell them play a C major blues scale, they'll also know exactly what you're talking about. But those notes are going to be the same. Okay? It's the same group of notes. The only thing that matters is which one we decide to make the most important. Okay? So whether we decide that the A is the most important or the C is the most important. So C major blues, A minor blues. That's it, okay? So what if I needed A major blues? Okay, well, I know that my pinky in that pattern is the major root. So I can take that box one shape and start it here on A. And that's going to make an A major blues sound. Okay, now there's this rule going around, and everybody loves to say, oh, just go down 3 frets and play the same thing. No, you don't. The effect is, yes, you went down 3 frets. You took your box one shape and you moved it down 3 frets. But if you play it exactly the same way, all you've done is change keys from A minor to F sharp minor. You haven't changed keys from A minor to A major. Okay, it's very easy to just say move that down. But that gives you sort of an F sharp minor sound. That's not really how I want you to think about it. And it's not the best way to think about it, because it's weird in our minds to be focused on F sharp when the song is in A. It's a little extra mental gymnastics that has to happen. And I can promise you, because I've smelled the smoke from my students literally on stage as they try to sort of wrap their head around all of this at once. They're looking and going, I'm playing box 1 on F sharp, but the song's in A, and like they can't put that together. It's an extra mental step, and I promise you, if you get on stage, you don't have any mental capacity left. You're nervous, you don't know what's going on, you're not sure, it's loud. There's all these things that you need to focus on. Focusing on how to get to your scale should be the least of your worries. So focus on the correct route. Focus on, I'm playing here. If my first finger's on my root of my box 1 pattern, then I'm playing the minor sound. If my pinky is on the root of my pattern, then I'm playing the major sound. But either way, I'm focused on the correct root. And later on, as you learn like boxes 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, you'll see that there are ways to manipulate all of the boxes in this fashion. But I don't want to get too carried away in one video. So that is how you switch between the major and the minor blues sounds. Why would you want to do that? It's a really cool sound to play major blues sound over the 1 chord and the minor blues sound over the 4 and the 5 chord. This is kind of the secret sauce to a lot of blues soloing. So what I encourage you to do is take a slow blues in A, or perhaps a shuffle blues in A jam track, and as the A chord is going on, play this. Play the box 1 centered around A. When the 4 and the 5 chord come on, play with your first finger on the A. When the 1 chord comes back, put your pinky back on the A. So you're switching between which finger is on that A. And that will take you back and forth between these major and these minor blues sounds. It's not the only way to do it. Believe me, there's a lot of different ways to do it, but it's a great way to easily kind of dip your toe in that water and start to get used to the sound and get used to how to make that manipulation. All right. So I hope it's something you'll try it out. I hope you dig this video, get something out of it, at least get some ideas. As always, if you have some friends maybe that would like this video, please share it with them. Spread the word, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Take care.